Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh and very good morning to all students BPMG 3053 Group A. Can hear or not?
Can do.
Bisu. Ingat bisu semua. Okay, last chapter we finished at what chapter numbers? Under what? Ya. Hello. Oh, kelas. Ada kelas. Tunggu. Baik, Okay, can see or not?
Can, sir.
Okay, good. All right.
Boleh,
Just
sir.
respond lah. If I cannot, sometime the voice is not clear enough, just let me know. Yeah. Okay, next chapter, the same chapter in on marketing. Yeah. Marketing at least two classes that we have. Yeah. It's not because we have several number of slide here, more than 40 slide. Okay, employees blending in marketing is you lah, yeah. Actually, when you are actually doing goods, yeah, you are actually doing goods for your company, and then you have good track record, yeah, among the customer, or potential customer or public, yeah. That means you are actually branding yourself, yeah, branding your company. That means branded lah. Yeah. For example, company A, B, C, because they know they get capacity, they got people, they got experience, yeah, capability, they got machine, everything there, and when they are doing a job, they are doing good thing, yeah, on time, JIT, all right, and then this consider branding, yeah. Bukan saja logo, your name, your people, organization, your company, logo as well. Yeah, that one is considered branding. And concept of marketing, which define a company as people, employees, and promote the benefit of working for the company to feature current employees. Yeah, that means when you're working in the company, you're doing a good job. Yeah, and then you can deliver. Yeah, you can perform well as assigned by the customer. You are actually a good branding. Yeah, yeah. Jadi on behalf of company lah, employers company lah, ya, company ataupun syarikat which is you work in, you work with, and then you perform the job well as required by the organizations or the customer, you are actually in the position of good branding lah, ya. Okay, kalau kita kerja main-main, that mean we are not brand enough lah. About that. They kalau rebranding pula, if you got problem, yeah. If you got problem, for example, our vehicle all the time, most of the time they involve accident or leaders, yeah. And then feel fresh, yeah. Feel fresh ni hilang barang, yeah. Feel fresh. And then, for example, they are actually doing the wrong thing all the time, yeah. For example, you send to A, suddenly you assign to send the good to A, and then your driver sent to B. Wrong location, late, for example, and then so the customer start brand you as bad company lah, bad company, and then from time to time the number of customers start to run away. Instead you have 50 customer in hand, but because of a bad thing that done by your employees and then your people, your organizations, maybe the number are actually decreasing. Yeah, number of number of customer decreasing from time to time, and then this is orang kata is considered disaster lah to the company. So which therefore the company need to rebrand. We call it rebranding. Rebrand again. The whole organization to make sure that in the past customer may forget the thing and do the new thing. Yeah. So I give an example for express bus in the 90s. Yeah, we can see the bus name. We call it Naela Bus Express those days in 1990s lah. In 90s lah, ya. They all the time, kadang-kadang sebulan sekali, sebulan dua kali, they involve a major accident, cause fatal accident. So what happened after that? Yeah, when all the time about accident, people are or customer want to take the services. Huh? They choose to other bus liner, yeah, to transport them from place to another. Which therefore even 6 months only. 6 months, after 6 months, the Syarikat Bus Naila has already closed down. Uh, tak boleh. Just because of the people, yeah. And then just because you met an incident more frequently, and then people tend to orang kata very scared to use the services, which therefore you got no market. So at the end, the management decided to close down the industry, the bus company. Very big, very big capacity they have. More than 100 vehicle, 100 buses at one particular time belong to Naila. But because of the bad reputation by the drivers and the less monitoring part by the company, for example, you just take in, employ people and drive, which therefore resulted in very bad in terms of public eyes lah, yeah. Uh, so you are required to rebrand that thing to make sure that Naila is a good bus in future. But take a longer period of time. But they cannot do it. When people do it also cannot do it. Taking time, which therefore anything that you are working in transport company, the most important thing that you have to brand yourself, brand your company. You have to work hard to make sure that you work in structure as company. This is not only direct to you as a person, but to direct to the company. So if anything went wrong, you want to rebrand that thing, it's going to be very difficult. But nothing impossible you can take time. For example, airline, yeah. Airline, air transport, Air Asia, for example. At one time, they involved so many crashes, yeah, in Indonesia, Malaysia, in kata in Thailand, yeah. But they got several only, a few only airline. Yeah? At one particular time, there is no demand at all. Adalah demand sikit, tetapi tak, it's not that maximum as required. But because of less airliner at that particular time, people forced to use because they are actually offering very cheap. The one more thing that when you want to brand that thing, you have to reorganize the pricing again. Makin murah. So at the same time, you are actually running at loss, yeah, running at loss. So that one particular time you take longer period of time to recover. Any rebranding all about. Therefore, rebranding is costly, yeah? Bukan murah. You have to advertise again, you have to talk people again, you have to regain the confidence of the public, especially your customer and so on. Same goes to road transport like that. When you precon involve accident and then not DRT practice, yeah, no insurance coverage, and unpolite for your politely, yeah, and unpolite, yeah, not good to your driver and so on. It resulted your company is orang kata bad, and you have to rebrand again. And to rebrand again is costly and timely. Yeah. All right. Rebranding is process, produce, service, develop of one brand, company, product, related, market, distributed in different identity. Same company, you have to orang kata pakai baju baru lah. Yeah? So you have to make up again, to talk again to the public, to the customer, and so on, with different identity. Okay. Jadi yang syarikat bas Naila tadi, dia after 6 months, dia 100% close because of ni lah, brand is not good. Okay. Jadi people are actually prefer to use facilities like bus national, ya, even mahal sikit, sama jugalah lebih kurang kan. Tetapi orang kata the facilities not that good, tapi have to because they want to have safe lah movement at one particular time. This involve radical changes, brand logo, brand name, image, marketing strategy, advertising, team. That's why I told you, marketing is costly, marketing strategy also costly, advertising costly, and then all these things to rebrand back to nama balik dan sebagainya also very costly. So what happened to Bus Naila just now I said, they are sold all the bus to one company, other company, and rebrand, kena cat balik company. But kena cap balik company, kena cap balik dia punya vehicle and so on. So at one particular time, the company is still there, but different company, And then same driver but cannot be traced by the customer, become a new company. Kalau they maintain an old company like that, the people cannot use, yeah, don't want to use the facility and very danger, for the people eyes lah, yeah. So is therefore they have to spend, remarket, repaint, change the company. For example, the person inside the same lah, because the public normally they want to see the same the people, but they want to see branding there. Oh, different company. Padahal they want the same people that working inside. Ini kesannya, effect. Okay, it just may involve merely superficial changes. Rebranding can be applied other new product, even unfinished product. Ini kalau we are actually dealing with product lah, tangible product and so on. It's not services, yeah. Hmm. Alright. Itu kalau kita buat rebranding. Okay, customer service. Customer service is actually you are actually dealing day to day with your customer. You have market, you have customer already, you have to service them, yeah. Say hello to them, you have to call them, say good morning, and then you have to ask them the feedback, how are actually our services and so on, right? And then to make sure that these are actually need to be done. Normally, customer service they actually work hand in hand marketing department. Just same office lah. Yeah, they got one office manager, marketing manager. They got assistant in marketing and assistant in customer service. And then reporting to marketing manager, for example. Kalau dalam transport company lah. Yeah, they are actually working and then the customer service is the people who know closely with customer, bukan operation, bukan operation manager, the customer service officers, yeah, they are actually very good in contact because anything went wrong, yeah, the customer always call customer service center. This means this is very good, because normally people who are actually working in customer service center, they are actually good in term of communication. Yeah, all right, always smiling. Yeah, and then can call and then very easy to communicate with people. Yeah, sometimes muka tebal lah. Yeah, it's a provision or service customer before, during, and after purchase. After you doing services, they are actually their role. Yeah. The important variety of services industry or customer. For example, expert customer might require less purchase of services, advice and knowledge. In many cases, customer service is more important than purchase related service or product. Customer may be provided person, sales representative, or maybe automated main call self-service. Example, self-service is internet site. Customer service normally integral part of the customer value proposition. Jadi sekarang ni communication is less because in 90s, in early 2000, yes, we have to communicate with customer more. But after that, we are using systematically, we call it internet, system, We have to place one system there at the customer, and then customer use the system. They always communicate through the system, less talking. They only got pro and cons. Whether goods or not is depend on that individual. For me, as a transporter, we have, even though we are actually using the internet, but we still need to communicate, communicate to them just to wish them lah, to wish them anything, You cannot just ignore. And sometimes you have to pay visit, You pay visit for the time to make orang kata heart-to-heart feeling lah, heart-to-heart feeling between your company and customer. And then this one are actually to make sure that you can tie long-term kata services lah, long-term services, long-term collaboration, so we can engage them for the longer period of time, so that you can get more structured revenue lah from them. This one is very important. So, which therefore customer service is playing the important role. After service, after you delivered, after services, from time to time, is how whether customer is run away from us or to maintain for the longer period of time is depend on the goods of the customer or better of the customer service. Yeah. So one of these days, maybe you are actually working in this customer service in transport industries, and then the most important thing that you have to engage very close, yeah, to the customer, to the customer heart. You can win the customer heart. That one is your responsibility lah as a customer officers, yeah, ataupun executive. So implementation of customer service, customer may be employed and resource competitive advantage. Yeah. As a particular service proposition harder to copy the competitors. The implementation of the particular some service proposition must consider several elements of the organization, including culture, hiring, training, incentive process, and support technology. You have to understand this competitive advantage. Apa yang dikatakan competitive advantage? That you are actually experienced, technically, yeah, on that particular field. You can anytime conquer the market, experience, you're knowledgeable, so that you got capacity with you. That means you are actually have this competitive advantage. Competitive mean saingan, ya. Peluang saingan yang tinggi lah, competitive advantage in Malay, tinggi. That means for those company newly set up, they want to take your market, for example, to conquer the market cannot lah, because you are actually experienced, yeah. You have capacities, you have knowledge, manpowers, yeah. You are actually competitive enough doing the work. Ini dikatakan competitive advantage, ya. This one, ya. Competitive advantage is very important because you have extraordinary tool lah, yeah. Tool, so that at one particular time you can easily capture the market. Doesn't mean that if you have this competitive advantage, you can be a king that particular industry. Cannot. Maybe a newly set up company, they got the system, they got the capacities, manpower, people knowledgeable. Maybe they can overtake you. Ataupun take some of your customer to become their customer. Maybe can. Yeah. So to maintain the competitive advantage, and at one time you have also to consider the branding, ya. Your brand need to be there, ya. Okay. Kalau brand tak ada situ, that mean you are not competitive enough in this market, ya. Okay. And then customer service needs a culture. Culture ni budaya lah. Budaya, budaya. For example, you want to see that people who are actually working with Japanese company, because one of the day maybe our company serving the Japanese company. Japanese company is different culture. They start early in the morning, even at 7 o'clock in the morning they can work. Yeah? So you have to advise your staff ataupun driver, make sure this one is Japanese company. They got culture. And then they enforce more sincerity on particular. And then they enforce more on respect. Respect, you have to pay respect to them, Japanese. Japanese, very good if we respect them. Even though they can communicate well in English, they are actually mainly Japanese, but if you respect them, at least we know one or two language, words, as communication word, the Japanese word, that one is normally Japanese very happy. And normally in Japanese like us, they can stay with us for longer period of time. 10 years, 15 years, very good. And then Japanese company, they want to utang, borrow debt and stay for longer period of time. 1 month, they finish. Very, very good paymaster lah, Japanese company. Reliable. That's why Japan, their culture very good. Right. Sure. And then hiring, of course, hiring, you hire lah people who are actually qualified in terms of marketing, communication, well, in terms of written and verbal communication. Customer service is very important. Kalau dia tak boleh cakap, nulis, it's going to be very difficult. Both languages. Even if you got extraordinary knowledge in Mandarin, for example, is advantage lah, because some of your customer maybe in Chinese, China mainland, they're talking about Mandarin, so impactful lah. And then, of course, in customer service, you need to have at least training lah, communication training, how to write paper, how to communicate to people. These all keep on from time to time, even though you are actually come up with a little bit of money to develop the training for that particular people, your organization, maybe you are sending them for training. It's good. It's part of investment of the company. If they can communicate well, serve the customer well, that means you are actually profitable for the company. Training, R&D, research and development, should to be. Sometimes we need to improve our culture also. Sometimes very difficult to communicate with people. Susah nak cakap, bisu. Tak gunalah jadi customer service. So, as a customer service people, you should be able, orang kata tu, easy to communicate. And easy to close and make a friend with the customer and so on, to make sure that you can stay with customer for a longer period of time. So for a longer period of time, that means you are securing the in term of revenue lah. Tak payah check market baru. Okay. And then number 4, incentive. Incentive is very important. Sometimes people, you want to maintain customer, very difficult. So the company might consider, because maintaining very difficult. To get new customer is not that difficult, but to maintain them is going to be very difficult. Very orang kata 1,000 thing that perangai kita punya customer sometimes like, sometimes during the time and so on. You have to consider all that. So with the pressure given to the customer, the company should consider that every time, every year, should need given the extra benefit lah to the customer service, because there are actually people are actually looking for the money, looking for the customer and so on. So incentive given lah. Instead of 3 months for customer service, to be given 4 month bonus and so on. All right. So number 5, processes. Processes is the process. Job flow in the customer service, you have to well versed. And then as a customer service officer, you should be well versed on this, on the flow of the system that used in that particular situation, so that you can explain to your mind. You can explain to the customer saying that you have system, you have so on and so forth. And then the processes whole, especially on the technology used in a particular organization, you have to conquer, have to experts, right? And then, of course, the final one, the company needs support and investing the office through technology. Now we are actually focusing more on technology, communication, and so on and so forth. Even payment also use technology. There is no hard or kata copy on that, paperless, And then at the same time, you should be able to explain this to your staff, internal customer, and also external customer on this part. This is role, part of marketing that you have. Customer service is playing important role. Market new product. Customer service to maintain the product. Jadi dalam bahasa transport ni, marketing job is to get new customer. But customer service officers maintain the present customer to be with us for the longer period of time. This is actually thing that we understand, Okay, tadi yang CA tadi kan, competitive advantage is actually your experience, your knowledge, your manpower, your capacity. 4 things that included in competitive advantage. People, knowledge, experience, and capacity. If you know this, because you have a big number of fleet, for example, of course you have capacity, and supported by your knowledge and your experience. So you are actually one of the company who are actually more advantage compared to other company. Ini katakan competitive advantage. And then competitive advantage purpose is to conquer the market. Market share lah. Kalau suatu PT market share, because you have this very good in term of competitive advantage. Maybe instead of 100% as overall cake, you might get 60%, 70% of the market share, for example. You are actually explaining up on that. Kan longer period of time staying in the market and control the market. You have this competitive advantage. So if you were just working there, the company already established long way ago, that means you are actually competitive. Even though you are new there, but from time to time you can learn from your seniors and so on, which is the company had already advantage that you are actually advantage working on that particular company, right? Most of the company, yang bertiga, most of the form of competitive advantage cannot be sustained for any length of time because of the promised economic rents drive competitors. To duplicate to the competitive advantage helped by any one of them. Sometimes you are actually good, yeah. You're actually good in terms of production, in terms of services, yeah, and so on. Once involve economic turmoil, for example, COVID outbreak, diseases. Sometimes you also fall in that category. Can wake up also. Yeah, even though you're very good. So if during economic good, okay lah. The machine, the play also can function well. You can maximize the movement. But during the COVID outbreak, for example, disaster, for example, flooded and so on, so you might effect on that particular movement lah. Yeah. Ada juga, if you are actually good, suddenly very good in term of capacity also can close down because of this. And then other way around, maybe other parties, maybe company C, even though they are new in the market, but they are actually willing to fight, for example, willing to work aggressively in the market. So that will disturb your competitiveness, yeah, at one particular time. Ini pun kira juga, yeah. Right. So apa lagi yang dia cakap dalam competitive advantage? That means a company may attempt to differentiate itself from competition through provision of better customer service. So from time to time, even your company A, company B, company C, they got their own competitive advantage to feel. The most important thing that your company have to work different by the others. Yang masukkan dia lah. And then through customer services. Itu sebab customer service until door to door. Sometimes you say use your services, they go to visit the customer and say thank you. Door to door, even though they can communicate, but the most and people preferable by the customer, they will say always thank you lah. To say thank you to the customer until their door lah. Yeah. And you can hope through communication, telecommunication say thank you. Sampai tahap tu lah customer service ya. The consistent delivery of superior service required the careful design and execution of whole system activity include people, technology, and its processes. So from time to time to maintain the competitive advantage, to make sure that you are actually dealing with people. People need what? R&D, training and T&D, training and development, more from time to time. We cannot so overconfident, even though we are actually more than 20 years in the market, overconfident. Wow. Uh, so from time to time, you have to upgrade, yeah, the technologies, yeah, technologies, the latest technologies. That one is very costly, but this is how to maintain competitive, yeah. And then you have to upgrade system processes that use systematically to ease the customer when they are actually dealing with us. This one is very important. From time to time, it's not very orang kata kita senang dengan ada yang sekarang too easy. But from time to time, we have to study also the requirement of people, customer outside there, what they want actually, how to maintain competitive in the market. The advantage, yeah. Uh, okay, the most important thing that every industry we have is technology lah. Technology they got role. For those who are actually in 80s, 90s, yeah, early 2000, technology less use, yeah. So from time to time, industry now, they try to fix the technology, which is now technology can help. Instead of 10 people with technology, we need to have at least 5 people looking there. So can half of the cost of the employees can save lah. Yeah? So the only thing that the people who are actually working in the organization need to conquer the technology punya knowledge lah, yeah, from clerk, from the bottom of the staff, yeah, lower rank in the staff in the organization have to understand the requirement, and then they have to study or learn and practice it, because this is requirement, IT, yeah, technology. They are normally using system, yeah, system you have to conquer lah. So every time you're working in this customer service or marketing department, they also got system there to control, yeah, to monitor, to get the thing done. But we cannot run away from go face to face, yeah, using this. After that, better collaborations or close collaborate with them, and then you use the system to communicate for them. And then technology is made available with range of customer service. You can place one system or computer in the customer places and then using our system so that you can communicate through the system as well. Ini orang kata kalau dah ada steady customer lah, ya. Yeah. And the range from support website ability to have live chat, yeah, chat, when technical staff to database tracking individual customer persons, pattern of buying, payment methods, tailoring products and services responsive based on data and one data. So kita sekarang dah pakai begitu ya. So we stop for even you are actually good in term of technology, but face to face also is a culture lah, our culture tu. Orang kata tak kenal maka tak cinta. Macam saya tak kenal you lah, sebagai student saya tak kenal. Maknanya kalau kita jumpa kat mana-mana pun kita tak kenal. Unless we go face to face, you come and see me, okay, I'm your student, and so, oh, baru kita kenal. Tak kenal. So kalau tak kenal, it's very difficult lah. Unless you perform well in the exam, for example, then, kalau you tak perform well, tapi maybe kenal, jadi lecturer akan bagi sikit lenient. Macam itulah dalam business and so on. And then most of the time, we are using the system, and then between lower rank, kelak-kelak kita pun tak pernah jumpa customer tu macam mana. Jadi kalau kita tak keluar jumpa dia, normally officers go and see them lah, customer kan. So tak akan jumpa. So how to sustain? Based on what actually people say lah. Okay. Especially software that design tracking service level helping recognize areas for improvement are all often integrated into the enterprise software, for example, ERP. Ini software lah. ERP, and then customer service software, and then haulage management software, and then kalau pergi warehouse, house management software. They are actually designed with specific thing lah to ease our staff doing work, and also customer can locate, can communicate through the technology. More faster, more reliable, but of course, in service industries, face-to-face is considered value add lah in particular organization. Accountability ni jujur. Jujur ya. Customer tend to be more forgiving the organization when knowledge they apologize to mistake rather than denying them. For example, if you handle a thing, orang kata damage, so you had to declare damage lah. Macam tu. So kalau ada damage, we have the cargo insurance, we can report to the insurance, can claim. Tapi kalau just we ignore like that, leave it to the customer to think about the damage good, the customer start thinking about other way, negative thing to you, to your customer, to your company and so on. This is very important. That one, jujur, accountability is very important. Taking responsibility for the mistake, correcting them, is considered an important aspect of good customer service. Begitu tuan-tuan. Delay because of what? Delay because accident, delay because of traffic jam, delay because accountability. Your responsibility lah, jujur. And then when you charging people, instead of 1,800, you charge 2,000 for the tak boleh. You have to declare to them, our profit is only 5% of 1,800. Declare lah. So our concept is win-win situation because you have a big volume of cargo, for example, to be transported. I got less in terms of profit, but I'm working based on volume. Macam itulah. Accountability. And then at the same time, it cannot be wrong billing, for example. Instead of bill 1,800 this month, the same cargo you charge, same services, you double charge, for example. It's not accountability. That normally people want to do. Sincere lah, accountability ni sincere, responsible people, that one good lah in the company. Maintain this for the longer period of time, of course, we can also good. When customer experience poor services and is ignored, a customer is likely to return to that company again. Yang kata benda ni kalau customer don't like you, they may come and see you and they cannot return the services, but they normally they want to pay. That one berlaku selalu. Because you are actually damaging people goods, barang, and then you just ignore. And then also same, you send the goods to the customer places, and then at the same time they reported damage, and then they may come to see you again, they want to pay the services. Dia banyak berlaku at this. What to do? So you have to admit the thing, and then you just send a literally insurance company to settle the thing, or you pay in advance and then settle the thing. So you can stay with them for the longer period of time. Otherwise, difficult. Next year akan kurang lagi lah customer. Okay, what else you have? Customer retention. Customer retention, that means kita orang kata tahan customer. Maintain customer lah, retention, we maintain customer for the longer period of time. Jadi, three aspect customer retention management. Customer retention management, CRM. Ada tiga aspek. Aspek yang pertama, dia kata automation support by current process that include company sale or company services. Operational. Jadi, you punya cara nak retain customer, you have to have this flow in the operational process. Kita ada policies, kita ada sistem operational in CRM. Jadi tadi pakai automation kan, teknologi. Teknologi is part of it to maintain the customer retention. Most of the customer are using technology. They are actually less talking lah. Yeah, if they are working in the factory, less talking. That more rely on technology. So which you are actually doing this thing. Maybe you set up the system and communicate through the system that we have. Dia kata automation ya. Number two, dia kata collaborative CRM, direct communication with customers that does not include company sale or services related self-service. Maknanya dalam collaboration tu ada MOU kan, doesn't mean that we are actually not rely, as I said just now, on technology itself. So you have to, once a while you have to visit them lah, pay visit, say hello, good morning, ya. Melawat kawasan lah in Malay ya. So that one is very important. So as a customer service, you cannot stay in the office at all time, yeah. So, and then we encourage you to move around, yeah, to visit customer. Kalau kita ada 500 customer, at least you visit one or two one day, it's enough for you to cover. At least they know that you are actually working. They know the person, yeah, the person direct. Otherwise, with the help through technology, you cannot see the person. So dengan teknologi, dengan adanya teknologi and we work in person face to face can help you to retain a customer, maksud dia. So activity in CRM, analysis of customer data and broad range. Sepatutnya dalam customer service ni kita ada the groups of data lah, customer Jepun ke, Malaysia ke, mainland ke, Singaporean. Most, kalau Johor banyak syarikat Singaporeans and mainland China. Kalau Port Klang, dia banyak Japan, for example. Penang banyak Japan company. So, all these things have to take into consideration. Especially regarding their culture. Kalau culture Chinese macam ni. Jepun tadi kan, they are working at 7 o'clock. So, we have to have at least a ticketed prime mover or lorry at 7 o'clock. And then Japanese like to, orang kata, respect them. But China also like that, like to respect. But China, dia kata, need to be, orang kata, cepat, very fast. And then anything that went wrong have to explain, inform. And then, of course, the liability part of it had to be insured also. And then, itu culture lah, culture. And then dalam CRM juga, kalau kita nak maintain longer period of time for the customer retention program ni, so you need to have at least office lah, front office. Normally they are actually have working office under marketing department, dalam sale. And then kita ada data, kita ada teknologi, which is can customer want the database if required, you can supply to them. So you can attend immediately, for example. One would contact history, customer interact with different people, different contact channel, company time out, we having repeat of the history interaction each time. Consequently, many all call center, some kind of CRM software to support their call center agent. Sometimes dia pakai komputer juga, dia pakai sistem juga yang jawab telefon kan. But the most important thing, even you got system, calling system, hello, apa semua, please push button 1, push button 2, and so on. Currently, we are actually cannot use this more frequently. Sometimes you have to attend fast. Jangan sampai di push button dan sebagainya. But if you get got a big number of customers, of course you use the system, tetapi you have to attend immediately. So customer service is playing important role in the customer retention program, so that as a benefit in the long run, we can maintain the customer well. Yeah, well. So what you have, dia kata, ialah question-question yang kita akan buat. Maybe this one is final examination we have. So dalam buku ada tak? Marketing, ada kan? Yeah, chapter 15 marketing, we have in the book. So whatever that written here are actually in the book. So this question is normally come up in the final examination. So you can refer to the book. And extraordinary, you can refer to the webs, or you can quote my word just now as I explained to you. Huh? Untuk extra mark lah, ya. Itu saja ends of our marketing punya syllabus. 10.50. Tak sampai 1 jam lagi. So as a conclusion, in marketing, the most important thing that you have to work with customer service. Customer service is actually working under marketing department. And then the role of marketing is to market lah, the product, the services that you have, kalau lori lah. And then customer service is just for you to maintain for the longer of period of time with the customer. Jadinya tadi kalau I say that if you can maintain longer period of time for that particular company, that means they are actually giving the revenue for the longer period of time. Revenue maintain. You need not to have even maybe one or two may run away customer. That one is normal. And then the function of marketing punya officers to market the product lah. One particular time. To make sure that if you market the product, the services, you have, and you have to consider the capacity, capacity of your fleets, organization, people, drivers, machinery. Kalau you tak consider, you just market, you got the oversupply of market, it's very difficult for you to serve. Ngam-ngam lah. When you have 100 vehicle for instance, you calculated this one can move how many move a day. You calculated lah. And then you have to study about the customer punya working time, what time. Maybe they are working in shift, okay. So we can deploy 24 hours in 3 shift also. But normally customer working in 2 shifts. So we have to attend in 2 shifts. So we cannot maximize our movement, our capacity of the vehicle for 24 hours. Maybe enough for 18 hours, okay. Because they are actually working in 2 shifts. Jadi dah less in term of movement. Itu capacity all about. So I said before, one transport manager's requirement is to maximize the movement. Even you are working under marketing department, service department, you are actually transport officers, So understand, the more that you move the vehicle, the more money you can get, Kalau less movement, idling the orang kata the vehicle, downtime and so on, that means you are actually cannot get the targeted revenue as required lah, ataupun as set by the company. So that marketing, they got principle, they got 7P of marketing principle, ingat tu 7P. So as officers working in the transport organization or as a marketers, you should be well versed on 7P marketing mix. So dalam marketing mix pun kita ada opponent kata sewa model. So tiap-tiap ada problem mesti ada solution macam mana. So marketing and customer service are actually play important role in the company because they are consider kata SBU, section business unit. You are actually making money on behalf of the company. And then operation department are actually doing job, instructed by you. You got client kan, you serve for them. You have to work hand in hand with the internal marketing. We consider internal marketing, internal people inside and external EM dan outside external marketing. Jadi your role is to internal, external. Okay, internal for your people working in the organization, the whole department. You have to very close. You cannot quarrel. So external, you are actually dealing with customer. If you got a customer in hand, you leave it to customer service to serve. Customer service might lies with operation department. All these things regarding the operational activities, flows and processes. And then customer service also they can deal with the billing system, accounting, yeah, whereby after services they have to bill. Tak guna kita banyak buat services tapi kita tak bill. Macam Tuesday, saya kerja di Container National kan. Marketing department got many marketing and sale got many sale. And then at the same time they come up with billing to the customer, right? Online, ya. Dulu kita pakai manual lah. Sometimes pakai online kan. Tapi tak ada collection person masa tu collection lah. Masa tu ialah dia tak gunakan system. They are using manual. You have to collect check everything whatever in 1 month time. So this customer billing officers need to go and knock the door lah. From time to time based on the account given by the account department. All these things in one particular job, in one particular organization, they are actually not working if you expert in that particular field, itu saja. But as a transport officers, you have to, because you are expert in business, you are expert in fashion, you are expert in warehouse, and so on. They are actually working, actually how to work the function of other department also. Dan so most of them sometimes sampai berkelahi, bergaduh and so on because they do not know the system. Bergaduh, kelahi, tarik-tarik kain apa semua sekali. All those things is no use because those days normally the people got no paper qualification. They are actually working with SPM, very long time there, more than 10 years. They think that they are very good. When new people come with the degree and so on and so forth, they feel jauh hati and so on. They try to show. So as person who are actually expert, experienced, knowledgeable, so you have to show yang terbaik lah, detail yang terbaik lah. You cannot quarrel in the office to make sure that you have to look up to your system lah, knowledge you have, and then to be polite to everybody, with internal and external customers so that you can stay in that particular company for the longer period of time. If you're happy to stay there in the company, you stay lah. If not happy, don't make havoc because orang kata be an asset lah, be an asset to organization. It's not liability. Dengan ada kita masuk jadi liability juga. You have to contribute something better and better. Even though in the first impression people don't like you, maybe your colleague, your staff, but from time to time you have to win their hearts, lama-lama boleh lah, berlaku ya. Yang berkelahi tak bercakap pun ramai, between department because of this. This one is normal, normal in transport industry or any organization, based on your this one lah. Kalau you are actually good, pergi mana-mana pun good. Kalau you actually bad thinking, negative thing, pergi mana-mana pun tak bagus. So all this while, as the transport officers, this is my advice to you all. When you go and work one day, regardless with transport office ataupun non-transport, but related to logistic, and I'm sure that any places working it works. Company ke, you're working with your factory ke, retailer ke, shop ke, and then of course you are actually dealing with logistic, normal logistic. Logistic can fix the all type of businesses, so you are actually facing this teacher. Tak setuju, orang tak suka kat you, nak berhenti, fed up, all those things. Sometimes you fed up ni, so you jangan fed up lah. So you had to work. Kalau you fed up, maybe if you got no kata no salary, you work for nothing. Itu mungkin you fed up because you paid by them. Kena marah atau kena maki, that one is just like bread and butter. So tahan. And then quarrel with people, you don't make quarrel lah. Make your work as a professional, relax, happy. Sometimes how to tackle them. nyanyi ke, karaoke ke, buatlah. Buat games ke, how to tackle that is most important. And sometimes later on, they can accept style of working. Faham tu? Understand ya? Bagus. So is therefore the marketing syllabus is very important. So from time to time, I cannot say I'm good in marketing, but if I got no job to stay now, so I'm doing marketing also lah. Even age is not the reason why you cannot market product. And sometimes normally people put female perempuan untuk marketing. Sometimes lelaki. Sometimes if they are your employees like marketing officers to become male is truly no problem. So the most important thing that you know your knowledge need to be equipped. The processes, of course, of that particular industries, the operational activities, the system, the calculations, and then the technology that use, will help you to market yeah, the product and the services. Is a services lah, product in transport kan. Dia intangible, cannot be seen, right? So you should be able to visualize to make customer happy, to win customer heart, for example. This is very important. And then even though you are not working under marketing or sales department, you're working under HR, you're working under collection, warehouse, or fleets management, which is not related to the customer directly. So you have to understand. You have to understand the customer preferences because our company are actually doing business as a whole. Because you are actually paid, even though you are not working in the customer operation, you are being paid by the company to look after the customer. Even you are not direct uh, dealing with external customer, but you are actually direct with internal customer. Your internal customer, for example, we are actually working in fleet department. Your customer, internal customer is actually operation department. Your internal customer is your marketing, customer service. So you have to set them well. What they required, for example, for the safety or the movement. Kenderaan kena cantik, baik, bersih. So, uh, sustainable, tak rosak. So, siapa yang punya kerja nak buat? So, of course, ada department so responsible on this thing because you are actually day to day dealing with customer. Got no time to see the condition of the vehicle. So the person who are actually see the condition of the vehicle is workshop or fleet managers. So they are actually person who are actually dealing with internally lah. You are not direct to the customer. Maybe you don't know the customer who they are, but you are actually helping. The fleet manager are actually helping customer service or marketing to do the business. So kalau business bagus, all parties inside the organization are actually going to be benefited. Faham tu? This is my advice to you lah. One day, of course. Kalau bagi customer service, you rasa macam boring kerja. Tidak. Kalau bagi marketing, tak dapat market, you rasa boring. Tidak. So you had to work. You had to talk. Macam-macam berlaku. As long as at the end of the day, you got salary from them. It's good lah. Kalau you are actually good, can sustain that particularly sustain. If you go off for outside, very good also. Kan? Because working in transport company or in logistics company actually is not permanent. You can jump from place to another. Same company, different company. Maybe got offer higher pay. That one is normal. They cannot stay for a longer period. 1 sampai 30 tahun, 40 tahun tidak. Normally officers 5 tahun dia jump. 5 tahun dia jump. Looking for other vacancies for that. Tapi ada yang stay sampai 30 tahun working. Therefore those who are actually got no qualification. Lower rank they are orang kata promoted from rank and file, for example, they can still because they got no paper qualification. At the same time, they cannot sustain. They cannot sustain to other world, yeah, other company and so on because less in terms of qualifications, in terms of communications. Qualification is most lah, yeah. Ataupun less of exposure pendedahan kat luar kan. Macam you all banyak pendedahan. When you go outside, the marketing place is very important. You can see other people. Cakap lah ada kerja kosong. And then see this company got logistic manager kosong. Ni fleet manager kosong. Factory pun boleh masuk. Lain company same field transportation also can boleh masuk and so on. Even sea freight, sea transport also can go because you are the line is there. So kalau kita pergi rail, rail pun boleh masuk, air pun boleh masuk, cargo and so on kan. So all you all study all these things in the organisation, so get you are actually equipped well lah. So I equipped well because in transport company I'm working in transport before. Company pun kita kerja, dekat logistik company pun kita kerja. So I give you the knowledge. Maybe the current situation may be different, but different only the current. Maybe sekarang ni current dia pakai teknologi. So you have to study lah the current one. Supaya number one. Number two, when people offering you for attend the training, you tak boleh tolak lah. Training is important, even though that one you have already qualified, got qualification, but extra internal training provided by the service training provider, as company send you there or you asking for that, you have to attend. Good for you lah. In the company, at least 7 days a year, you have to attend training. 2 hari, 3 hari, one day. So all those things very important is captured. At least you have extraordinary knowledge. Maybe your knowledge you want to improve the performance. What? Training, minta training performance. Yeah. Maybe you want to improve during your system. Minta system how to communicate. Boleh minta training tu dan sebagainya. So good, yeah. So at the same time, we take this opportunity lah. Rather than we work, sometimes we have to train ourselves to make yourself current new latest development lah. Yeah. At one particular time. So anything that we can see outside, rather than you remain there for a longer period of time, you can jump from place to another, suit with that company punya requirement. You already keep there. Inilah safety officer course kah. Additional lah, for example, pengacaraan kah, anything that for the customer service. At least you got contact outside. Yeah. Jadi contact outside, itulah. From time to time, we can jump through the contact, through the when you're seeing people, you can express more your CV lah, advantage lah for you to in the field of industry lah or businesses. Okay, 11 o'clock already. I think thank you very much. I think that's all for today. We end up with our marketing subject. The next chapter, we're going to discuss our different thing also lah. And also good for you or to be work in company one day. Yeah. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And end of today, I'm going to pledge again the attendance. I'm sorry, sometimes I miss out to key in, but to key in the system. So for those still not key in the attendance, can you please because important lah, kalau tak ada nanti susah. Thank you, Dr. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Hello, ya. Good morning. Ya, cakap. Nah. Dah nak pencen lah. Siapa? Adalah setahun dua lagi. Okey, terima kasih. Ya. Iya. Hmm. 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 Ya. Hmm. 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 Ya. Hmm. Hmm. Okey. Hmm. Ya. Hmm. Ah.